Yeah, Kindle is like an email address you can send stuff to and send it to your device. So I just log into Gmail from there, forwarded it. Because I first tried downloading it and then re-forwarding it took like an hour and drained half my battery. Okay.
Here we go, about 10 seconds.
All right.
All right. Welcome everyone to the Break It track. This is Saturday morning at ShmooCon. I'm John Callis. I'm a member of the Shmoo Group. Our first talk of today is Virtual Worlds, Real Exploits. The speakers are Charlie Miller of Independent Security Evaluators. He's one of the best people that I know of at breaking things. You have probably know him yourselves from breaking the iPhone this summer. And also Dino and Zovi, who did a really good Mac hack at CanSec West. So I will hand things over to them, and please.
Cool. All right, is this thing on? Okay, cool. Well, thank you everyone for showing up this morning. I wasn't even sure if I was going to make it here by 10 o'clock, so I'm surprised this many people are here. We're talking about running exploits in virtual worlds. And of course, we must start off with the, actually a great quote from Snow Crash. Deals a lot about this with, virtual worlds and sort of hacking within them. So, okay, we'll skip through it. I guess I won't read the quote.
They can read the book if they want.
You can read the book if you want. If you haven't, you should. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about, just give you an overview of virtual worlds. How many of you have a Second Life, World of Warcraft account and actively use it? It's a pretty good number, and I'm not talking to people who have never heard of this stuff. Our research focuses mostly on Second Life, and so we'll talk a little bit more about that for the people who are either A, unfamiliar with it, or B, unwilling to admit that they have an account on it. And then we're going to talk exactly. Talk about the vulnerability that we use to actually take advantage of this, and sort of some of the exploitation and payload technology that we did. And then we'll do a demo. But with those of you with laptops, if you have a Second Life account, you can actually log in and watch us do the exploit. So
and if you don't have an account, there's enough time during the talk. You can start downloading now, and you can be ready and just head over to the spot and you can watch it.
Yeah, we really want to see other people there. I think it'd be really cool. We won't own you, assuming your QuickTime is patched.
Yeah, we put up signs around it, so just don't go inside the sign area, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and inside the signs is a radioactive area. Be careful. But going, with Bruce Potter's theme from the opening remarks, I have a pet peeve against video demos because you never know, are they truly real? It's so many hand waving it could be possible. So we decided live demo. You can watch. You can even connect to the web server and see the exploit come at you. But if the exploit fails, we'll show you a video, just in case.
It won't.
It won't. It'll be fine. So there's been an explosion of virtual worlds over the last couple of years, sort of for a variety of purposes. World of Warcraft, I think a lot of people have heard of this. Apparently it's pretty popular. My favorite currently at the moment is called VLES. It's a virtual Lower East Side, named after the neighborhood in New York City. So you can go there. It's kind of like trying to be MySpace for musicians in the virtual world. So you can take your avatar dressed up in total hipster gear and go to the Lower East Side, watch a show. And I can do that from my apartment, which is literally a mile away from this neighborhood, and not actually have to go there and deal with the crowds and all the bars. So, not that I've done that on a Saturday night instead of going to a club, but it's possible. So what do we call virtual worlds? These are online environments whose residents are avatars representing people in the real world. They're always immersive 3D environments, and very often the players can create their avatar to resemble them or who they want to be, or just something that they find interesting. And so it adds another personal element to it, a little more than just like a chat session where you don't really have as much, your items of flair are your nick, and that's about it. With your avatar, you can do whatever you want. And it can be free or subscription-based. They have various models for how you pay, how you interact. And typically, they they revolve around something. So it's not more than just a 3D world. There's other interactions that are possible in it. So this could be playing a massively multiplayer online game. It could be, like in the case of World of Warcraft, it could be like a music scene in the case of VLES. Or in the case of Second Life, it could be revolving around furry lap dances. Do you want to speak to this one?
This is just a slide that I stole from some website, and it's basically trying to say how many accounts there are, out in the world, and there's a ton. And if you can read it, these are different virtual worlds. So the one over on the right is Second Life. The huge one is like called Habbo or something. It's some one that I guess a lot of European teenagers use. I don't know. But you can see like there's a lot of different virtual worlds. Some are more popular than others. Some have been around longer than others. And the disc here, like starting on the left is like young kids play it, and on the right where Second Life is like more mature people play it. And so it's supposed to show you like age distribution, number of counts. It's lots of information on one slide.
And also just think, look at, ooh, hello. And look at this. Basically, most of the, was it under 30, that's what the primary demographic is for virtual worlds. Well, they're going to get older, and so they're going to start moving into Second Life and sort of these more, sort of more adult, well, not necessarily adult, but more less game-oriented virtual worlds. And that's Second Life is where we have an economy and a lot of other things that make it differentiated from the other ones.
So yeah, that last slide was just virtual worlds, where like some people say there's virtual worlds and then there's these massively multiplayer online games and that they're different, but we sort of consider them the same. They're both basically environments you can go, and from our perspective, you can exploit people there. But that last slide was only the virtual worlds where there's sort of not like a real underlying purpose, and this is where they're actual games. There's objectives, and you run around, you kill things, or whatever. So the green one is World of Warcraft, which of course is the most popular game right now.
Yeah.
10 million active accounts. So you come up with a decent exploit there, and you can get your 10 million computer botnet in like 5 minutes.
All right. So one thing that's different about virtual worlds is how exploits can be delivered. In a web page, basically like web malware, drive-by downloads, you usually have to go somewhere to have that content delivered to you, and usually it's a banner ad, or sometimes it's slipped into the advertising network, or it's hostile content on the web page. In the virtual world, they can come in the form of any object in that world, and so since users can control the textures on their avatars and various other things, it could be avatar's hair color, it could be actually something like whispered into your ear, it could be an IM, it could be anything in this world, and it is harder to sort of judge the danger of something in a virtual world than going to like a kind of sketchy website.
Right. Yeah, so 5 years ago, if you emailed someone an executable, they'd probably click on it. But now, at least some people won't. So, people have sort of learned what's dangerous and what isn't. But in a virtual world, it's like totally different. It's everything is virtual, and you don't know what to trust anymore.
I read this article about, in Second Life actually, there was a Ponzi scheme with these fake ATM machines. Someone just registered some bank, and they started putting up these Second Life ATM machines, and people would just deposit lindens into them because they said, oh, we give you crazy amounts of interest. And it's hilarious how no one would do this in real life. If they saw some like cardboard cutout that had ATM scrawled on it in crayon, put money in here, they wouldn't do it. But in the virtual world, even though Linden dollars are backed by real dollars of theirs, yeah, sure, they go for it. Like 40% interest. With that, my 100 Lindens can be 140. Yeah. And so they would do things like that. So we have just less of a intuition as to what is safe and what is not. And so usually, actually, this is where you cut over, or?
I can talk about it. So so with these exploits in virtual worlds, you can do the old thing everyone does. So you can take over someone's computer, you can put in a backdoor, you can make it a bot, you can send spam from it, all the typical stuff. But there's other things you can do in this scenario that's sort of interesting, we think. So not only can you take over someone's computer, but you can take over their avatar. So you can make their avatar move around, you can make them follow you around, you can steal their money, whatever you want. And so it's just sort of a new opportunity from your regular exploits. And the thing that is interesting is, I'm not an evil guy, I'm not a bad guy, but if I took over your computer, it's not obvious how I would profit from that. Like,